I just wrapped up with a client recently who had a very interesting work schedule. He would be on the job for about 2 weeks, and then he would be off the job for about 2 weeks. Pretty common actually in certain fields, certain industries, but as a whole, you don't know too many people who work for 2 weeks straight and then are off for 2 weeks straight. And the guy would often work overnights for those 2 weeks, and then he would be off and come back into having time off from work in the days. And that caused a really big issue because whenever he would be on the job, he had a lot of structure, he had a lot of routine. But then whenever he would come off the job, he's completely off work, and he's been used to working overnight, sleeping during the day. And by the time he finally gets used to that and his body adjusts to that, well, he's off work again, and it's time for 2 weeks of complete and total free time where his body is used to sleeping during the day. So as you can imagine, there's an adjustment period, and it's hard for him to completely shift into that days off block of 2 weeks or so in a healthy way. And what he found was when he was off work, he would tend to sort of tank. He would have a lot of low points because of the disorganization, because of the lack of structure, lack of clear goals, all these kind of things. So what we did is we figured out how to bring up his bad days so that his lows were higher. We wanted to get him to have higher lows. And that is essentially how you build your life, is with higher lows. Everybody has low days, everybody has bad days. The trick is to make your low days a little bit higher. Because if your bad days can get a little bit better, over time, your life just gets better as a whole. Improving your life is not really about crushing your good days, because we can all crush our good days. And it's kind of easy to get better at good days because they're good. The harder part is learning how to bring your bad days up. And there's a concept I want to share with you guys that I always talk about in my men's groups. If you're in my men's groups, you've probably heard me talk about this before. But the concept is to keep showing up. Talk about college education and whether or not it's a waste of money. I don't want to talk about that here, but KSU, the University of Consistency University, keep showing up, KSU. That is the best education you're ever going to get. KSU is the best education you're ever going to get, because it's not about how you show up on your good days. How you show up on your good days, on your best days, getting that extra 3%, 5%, 2%, 1%, 0.5%, 0.1% edge. That's how champions are won, by the way, is 0.1%. Getting that extra edge does not come from the good days. It comes from how you show up on your bad days. So guys, I don't know where you guys are at. I don't know what you're trying to build. Some of you are trying to build a business. Some of you are trying to get better at socializing, talking to people, talking to girls. Some of you are trying to get in the gym, work on your fitness. Some of you are trying to work on nutrition. Some of you are trying to get in the Word more. Some of you are trying to go to church more. Some of you are trying to stop certain addictions. No matter where you're at in those processes, there's a concept of KSU that applies. There's a concept of showing up and doing the thing at your worst. When you are sick, when you have a headache, when you are really, really, really tired, when you don't have any inspiration, when you really, really don't feel like it, that is when it counts the most. Because improving yourself as a whole is not about nailing the good days. It's about showing up on the bad days. It's about bringing 100% of whatever percent you have. On your best days, maybe you're at 95%, 100%. On your good days, maybe you have 75, 80%. On your bad days though, man, sometimes it feels like you got 2%. Like, man, I'm just barely here. I'm just glad I woke up today, you know? Like, the fact that I'm talking and speaking in coherent sentences, that's a borderline miracle, okay? That's when you need to show up. If you're going to the gym, you don't have to do the whole workout. You don't need to bring 100%. You need to bring 100% of 12%. Whatever percent you have, bring 100% of that. Okay? We're talking about this today, boys, because I almost didn't make this video. I am ridiculously tired. You guys can probably see it. I mean, my face is, extra wrinkly today. I've got these bags under my eyes. I'm kind of dehydrated and just worn down. I need to sleep for like a day. Been doing a lot of traveling, been doing a lot of late nights and relatively early mornings. And it's all been for good reasons. But there's just been imbalance, and there's been jet lag, and there's been red-eye flights, and very long conversations, and a lot of work. And I'm just absolutely worn out. But that is the moment to get tougher. When you're doing reps at the gym, you don't really get a lot of growth stimulation until the last 1 or 2 reps. You're not getting your growth stimulation on the first rep or so of the workout. It might be hard, but you feel good. Your energy is there, the muscle fibers are intact, and that's not where you grow. You grow on those final repetitions where you don't feel like doing it, where the muscles are screaming at you, where you're straining your body, where your central nervous system is getting taxed. That is where the growth actually happens. And so if you've been in this place of stagnation and inconsistency, show me your schedule, show me your routines, and I will show you a pattern of not showing up. I will show you a pattern of when you're not feeling like it, or when something gets in the way, or when the result is going to be less than optimal. I will show you a pattern of you not showing up. And what you're doing on those days when it's not optimal and you're not showing up is you are destroying your ability to grow. Because again, growth doesn't happen on the great days when everything works for you. That's more like showing off how good you are, right? Whenever you go see an actor perform, or whenever you go see a dancer, or some sort of a theatrical production, or a music recital of some kind, a concert, you're not watching them get better. You are watching them perform something that they've practiced many times. You're not watching growth. Now maybe they're not feeling the best that day and it's a growth of character for them to show up, but you're not watching them grow at their craft. You're not watching them get better at the thing. You're watching them perform something that's been practiced many times. So the growth doesn't happen when you're good at it. The growth happens when you need to show up, but you don't want to. You don't feel like it. It's not going well. You're out of inspiration. Okay? In those moments, guys, I want to encourage you. Your second wind is there. You're just not tapped into it. The second breath of fresh air is there. The inspiration even is there, but you're just not tapped into it. And in those moments where you're not feeling it, it kind of requires you to prime the pump. it requires you to get the flow started. It requires you to get a battery pack to jumpstart the engine. The engine is there, the gas is there, the power is all there, but when you're feeling dead, you have to get this artificial battery pack to jumpstart the engine. And that jumpstart is the decision to show up. It is the decision to say, I am going to get this thing going, and whatever happens, happens, but I am not going to show up. KSU. I'm not stuck on perfection. I'm giving myself permission to be bad at this today. I'm giving myself permission for the boys video to not perform well, for it to get, 50 views and 3 likes and no subscribers and chalk it up as just a bad video. I give myself permission to do that because this is how I grow. This is how I get better. This is how being put in a tough situation and continuing to show up allows for new inspiration, allows for new growth. So I'm not going to not show up. And guys, this is how anything great is done. This is how anything important happens, is through someone who refuses to give up, who must show up even on their bad days. If you want to grow, it's going to mean showing up on your bad days. And if you're not being consistent, if you're not growing, I can show you a failure to attend KSU. You are not getting educated through consistency. Going back to my client, his life improved substantially because he decided to keep going on his bad days. The better you can make your bad days, the better you'll make your life. You must keep showing up on your bad days. If you don't keep showing up on your bad days, your ceiling might get better, but your floor won't. If you want to have a consistently good life, it doesn't need to look like this. And the lower this is, the lower that your lows are, the lower your highs are going to be. You have to be able to have a good floor, which gives you a good foundation to jump off of toward the ceiling. If you want to have higher highs, you need to get higher lows. It's harder to go from 0 to 100 than it is from 50 to 100. So get that low point up. What you're going to find over time, and this is what I tell all my men's group guys too. For those of you guys who don't know, I have a men's group. It's a private, invite-only men's group. If you're interested, you can DM me on Instagram at narrowwayman. Just DM me the word group and we can talk about it. But to get in this group, there is a fee involved. It's a very low fee, relatively speaking, for the value you get. But to get in this group, you have to get on a one-on-one call with me, and I have to invite you personally because it's a very high-level group, and I'm restricting access to men who are serious, who are aligned in faith, who are actually wanting to do something with their lives. But even in that group, there are guys who never show up to the calls, or there are guys who will show up a here and there, but they're not consistent. And by show up, I just mean literally sit down in front of the computer or your phone and just join the call. Like we're not talking about this gargantuan effort. We're talking about just hitting a couple buttons, not even having to turn your camera on if you don't want to, just literally showing up to the call, joining a Zoom call. The guys who join those Zoom calls consistently, all of them grow consistently. It's that simple. It's that simple. It's the decision to show up even on your bad days. The guys who are doing that, even on their bad days, are winning. They are making higher lows, they're going to KSU, and they're getting wins. But the guys who don't, even if they were prior clients of mine, even if they had big transformations. It's very sad, but that's often the case. Like, you know, I work with somebody for 12 weeks, and during that time, we can do a lot. It's 3 months, we can do a lot. But I cannot plant new beliefs and water them into mature trees in 90 days. That's just not how growth works. And some of these guys, they'll be one-on-one clients, and they'll join the group, but then they won't show up. And guys, that growth, the growth that you see in your life, it's not one and done. It's not, oh, let me get this coaching program and lock in for 12 weeks and then be done. It's not how it works. That will get you a little sapling started, and that'll get your root system right, but it has to be nurtured and developed over time, consistently. And so if you're experiencing intermittent growth and inconsistent growth, unstable execution, I guarantee you, you're not showing up on your bad days. KSU boys, if you're interested in the group or want to work with me one-on-one, link in the description below, click that. We can talk. Follow me at narrowwayman on Instagram. Episode 53, guys. The next episode you'll see me, I'll be in Arkansas. I'm on the East Coast right now. So a little change of pace. But appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you soon. Take care.